Hi everyone. Okay, so today I'm continuing on with this air respirator. So yesterday I covered the polishing, sanding the helmet part and then polishing it. Today I'm going to be continuing on by refurbishing the battery pack. So I looked up when I purchased this helmet, and it was actually around 2017. So it's quite old now, but what I'm doing here is I'm trying to look after it. So I'll set that aside. I'm going to start on the battery pack here. So I have a lot to cover here to do this properly. Try and get these cameras set up. That's about right. So I'm just thinking here, do I have everything sitting at the bench that I need? I think so. So while I get this thing out of the way here, it's in the way of my knees. See if these cameras are okay. So that's about right there now. Okay, so as I say, today I'm going to be overhauling this battery pack, replacing the cells. The cells in the battery pack are degraded and they're old technology. Right, we're set. So yesterday what I done is I overhauled this helmet part of the air respirator. Today I'm going to overhaul the battery pack. So here we have the little motor, little pump. Well, it's basically just a fan blowing through here, sucking in here. So there's a pre-filter here and there's a main filter here, particle filter for the dust or whatever. Here we have the cassette that goes underneath the chin. That was also sanded and polished yesterday. I'm going to set this aside now, and I'm going to now just focus on the battery pack. Okay, so just bear with me. So hopefully the signal's good there. I'm just going to double check it, because I know it drops in and out at times. I think it's alright. If I stay away from the phone, it's usually alright. Right, so let's start. So the first thing I need to do here is remove these two screws with a star head screwdriver. So just to point out, I have already stripped this about 2 months ago, just so that I can get the right size of a cell to fit the actual enclosure. So let me see if I remember how to strip this without breaking it. Nope. I think there was a way this came apart. Sort of clips in here. There we go. So there we have the 3 cells within the battery pack. So there's water and oil residue in there from yesterday from polishing this enclosure. So I will clean that with IPA before I go any further, but I just want to point out these cells were glued into this enclosure. So I will be gluing them back in. So I removed the glue using IPA. I got a wee rag here. I don't even know where I brought that. So the capacity of this battery pack is 1400 milliamp hour, and I know that because there was a label on the side of it there. Well, it's gone now. So it was there where that wee bit of white is, the white mark. So they're 1400 milliamp hour. These ones is 5000 milliamp hour. So the capacity of this battery pack should be increased by 3.5. 3.5 times the size. So I'm going to cut these off, but first I have to make sure that they're all well marked. There's a red wire, so don't really mark nothing. I'm going to cut this off clean. I'm going to cut this one off here at the negative. See there, so what I need to do now is a wee bit of footery work. I need to branch these 3 cells together. I'm going to clean this first before going any further. So, just looking at this enclosure again. So we can only get 1 cell at this side and 2 cells at this side. 2 cells between the socket, 1 cell beside the switch. Okay, I'm going to clean this first before we're going any further. So look at the state of them things. They're like 8 years old. So I've already spent about an hour and a half cleaning this, breaking down the hot glue that held the cells within the capsule or this container or enclosure. So removing the polish from yesterday. Hard to shift that are gunk. Yellow stuff on there. So what I'll do is I'll continue on with the pack, the linking of the cells, and I'll clean this near the end. It's probably alright anyway, like, but me being me, needs to be pristine. So here's where here's the port for the charger. The existing charger for this air respirator was a power supply. So you can adjust it here, so it's just a basic power supply, DC power supply. So I will be changing or upgrading the power supply to this proper charger, which is a pulsing charger, more suitable for the NI/MH cells, these ones. So there's 4 there, I will only need 3. I'm going to put this back into the wee lever. So I will only need 3. This is the way the cell came, with the tabs and all on it. So the only thing I need to do here is solder to the tabs, but not to the cells. They're spot welded. So I have the cells prepped and all, the tabs straightened out. 1, 2, 3. Set this one aside. So what I need to do now is match this, the wire length the same, because 2 cells are beside each other and 1 cell is further apart. So we'll start off here. I'm going to set this aside. Just going to check the live stream. So as I say, part 1 was yesterday when I was polishing the actual helmet. So it was quite a number of scratches in it. So I sanded the scratches out and I started polishing it up. I haven't finished yet. I will go over it again because I can see some fine scores on it there. So the grip that I will be using will be 1500 or 1000. I'll do a third part maybe in finishing this up. But first I'm going to continue with this battery pack. Get a wee drink of Red Bull here. So hopefully there's good signal there. So let's start. So I've got new wire. I'm going to just use this black stuff. So this is rated to, let me see, 16 amps. So that's more than enough for this little motor within this. It's probably drawn, I don't know, milliamps or 1 amp. Not sure, never checked it, but here we go. So we're going to match this, move this soldering iron. So one important thing here is when I assemble this pack, I need to be sure that the positive pole on this battery or the solder doesn't arc out to the side of the cell. So that would basically be a short circuit and the cell would heat up and go on fire more likely. So I need to be sure to insulate the side of the cells here where the tabs come down like this. So if you can imagine now if I solder here, the solder would break through this barrier, this insulator or protector on the side of the cell. So the way I'm going to do this, right, is by using this heat shrink or shrink wrap, and I'm going to go over the top of the cell. So what they have done there, they've used like a, what do we say, it's soaking now, but cardboard, well, paper. It's not even a barley paper, it's just disgusting. That's what it does. So I'm going to use this instead. I also have smaller shrink wrap here, which will come in handy. So I'll get started here now. Get the soldering iron turned on. So these cells are high capacity, high energy density. So they're a racing battery cell. They're sub C. So if you can imagine the D size, C size, and the AAA and the AA, these are the smaller size of the C size cells. So the length this way, but the diameter is the same as a C size. They're not the same as a 21700. They're the same as a C. So let's get started here. I have to make sure I do this right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab on these little pieces of barley paper. And I'm going to try and put it on where we're taking the positive polarity from, the positive wire. So we'll see if we can break this out here. Haven't used these wee boys. There we go. So we're going to try and slide this on. So what I'm trying to do now, see this nickel connection? I don't want that to short against the body of the cell. So I'm going to put this on here and keep it to the side where the nickel is going to be overlapped, overhanging even. So like that. So also there will be the shrink wrap on the side. So it's very important that I have that on there. Do you know something? I might actually just move it down a wee bit further. These are for the 21700 cells, so maybe a wee bit smaller. But that's okay there. See the way I've got it overhanging? It's just a wee bit of protection. I'm going to do the other 3 cells too, right? So no fabricating today, no projects, just repairing the air respirator. So we're going to do the same this cell, wrong side. So I'm not going to keep it center because it's not for the C-size battery. It's just a wee bit of protection to keep this from shorting out. There we go. So pushing it down over the end of the cell, a wee titty bit. So this will be shrink wrapped out. So that now can't short against the body of the cell. Okay, so that's 2 done. Negative end doesn't need done because this is the negative side of the cell, the body. That makes sense. So we need another one. So if you look at the cell, there's nothing there. Protect. What if I get the new one? Where's the new one at? So if we look at the new one, we have See the way they've got protectors on it? Like shrink wrap over the top of the nickel connections. That keeps that part from shorting against the negative part of the cell. But I removed that. I have to remove that in order to wire it up. So there we go, there's another one done. So it's barely going over the side. Just a wee bit of it. The shrink wrap will get the rest. Hopefully. So we're going to start wiring this up now. Matching it like for like. So really, I don't want the wire really going through the hole. So if you can imagine the copper going through the hole here, and I go to push this tab towards the cell, there's a good chance it's going to short out. So what I want to do is I want to keep the wire going onto the back here, or even just soldering the wire on direct at this point. So let me see if I set this up here. So I need a piece of wire now about 800mm long, or thereabouts. So that stuff's fine, it's rated 16 amps, 16.5 amps. So I'll call it and then I'll call it again. So the next step now for that piece of wire is adding shrink wrap. So this shrink wrap needs to not really as much fit the wire, but it needs to go over the nickel connections. So the colour is not important. So we'll see if this blue stuff works. Too tight. See if this red stuff works. Perfect. So I'm going to cut this in half and place it onto this wire. So there we go. I'm just going to check these cameras here. So bear with me. What I'm doing here is I'm recording this with a 4K camera too. So I'm kind of talking to two cameras. So we'll get this soldered now. So that wire is for there. What I need now is another one for the third cell, second to third cell, and that's approximately 4 inches long. So the soldering is held up there now. Doesn't matter if it's a wee bit longer, we can fit it into the enclosure somehow. Then you start this other camera. So what I'm going to do here is I need to be careful here because I also need to start thinking about the protection around the cell here. So what do we see? I'm going to just bend this nickel strip out like this to add this, okay? What I'll do is I'll take a wee measurement and cut it with a pair of scissors. So we want this to run over the barley protector, the insulator there. What I'm talking about is these boys. We want the shrink wrap to go over the top of it. So keep the shrink wrap a wee bit longer than the cell. So we'll go, I think that'll be okay here. We need 3 of these. So I'll just cut them. So these are very important. Keep the cells from shorting out. So we have 3 of them now. I'm going to slide them on. So again, racing cells. So they're actually VP racing battery. 1.2 volts, 5000 milliamp hour, NAMH or NIMH. So we're going to slide this on with the barley paper in place and position. Is that a bit long? Only one way to find out. So it's not really important to go over the side here because, as I say, the side of the battery is more or less the negative pole of the battery, the cell. So I'm going to get my little heat yoke here. I'm going to slide them all on first. So I want these to go underneath the nickel tab here. So I'm keeping it a wee bit up. This video is going to run on, this live stream. I know, I can tell already. Right, so hot air now. The best way to hold this. Just checking that that's going to go underneath the tab. Great job. Watch the fingers. Trying to not put too much heat into the cell at the same time. This thing seems to be running a bit. No, it's full power. Thought there was something on there, but it's just the way it's cold environment different places. So I'm trying not to heat the cell too much. So there we have protection now, we have a barrier. A better barrier. So it's not important here, but it is important at the positive pole here. So I can now push this down and I have no worries about that shorting out against the cell. So that's one done. So remember, we've got the barley insulator in there too. On to the second cell now. So this is really important. Important because the connections are being made at the side of the cell, not the top. Is that one a wee bit too far that way? Just give it a pull down. It's not. So if you focus on the crease first, it helps. Try not to put too much heat into the cell here. So that's alright. Put it on. To push the tab down again. So we have the barley paper and we have the shrink wrap. So we know it's not going to short out there, where this runs over the top of it. What I can do is I can also just use 2 long pieces of these on the wire instead of cutting them. and run it on in towards the centre of the cell. So let's do the third one here now. Lining it up, working on the crease first. Watch the pause. So let's say it's protruding or passing this side of the cell, just give it a wee pull down before you heat the rest. So try not to heat this too much. That'll do. So when that machine stops, so bringing the tab down, again, ready for the soldering. So if we look here now, you can see what I've done. Okay, so I'm ready for the wiring here now, the soldering, but I'm just going to wait for that machine to stop. Have to start the other camera again. So what I'm going to do this time is, well, instead of using them short pieces, I'm going to run these on in, so we have more protection in case they short out. So the reason I'm going to glue these within the capsule is to keep them from bouncing about. So say if you're dancing with a helmet on, so the cells don't shake. And rub about and all that. So these are for the e-bike, for the 21700 cells. I will be doing a live stream, hopefully this afternoon on that. But this goes well here. There we go, so that's our start. The cells are soaking. Let's start this other camera again. Okay. So the next step here now is soldering. If this iron's no good, I'm going to move to my gas one to do this. I think it'll be alright. Turn it off a minute because I don't need it yet. So the plan is now, the best way to do this will be to keep the wire, the copper wire, to the bottom here. The reason being is, if I was to put it this way, it's not going to happen now, but let's say I put the copper this way, and I push the tab down, the piece of copper is going to be pushing into the shrink wrap. This shrink wrap's really thick because it's actually used for electrical conductors. So there's a big air one there, look. So it doesn't really matter what way I put the wire, but I'm just going to stick to my original idea here. So let's get started. So turning the cells, putting them in the same position. Adding the shrink wrap. I don't have black this size. I have blue maybe. Doesn't matter. Be nice to keep them blue and black. Yeah, blue and red. I don't have black, so I'm just going to have to use blue. Actually, hold on. It's a different size. I have to just use red here. Red shrink wrap for this. Listen to them magpies. Okay. So try not to have these little bits of copper too long away from the insulator. So that one's okay, this one's a bit long. So negative pole now to positive pole. There we will have 3 volts. Well, we won't have 3 volts because they're 1.2 volts. So 2.4. So what I'm going to do here is I don't know yet what way I'm going to do this. I might just leave it like that. Do you know what I need? A wee vise. So what I'll do here is I'll bring the cameras down. Have to bring the cameras down for this one. Need a wee ton plate. So the way I'm doing this here is with the copper going on the way. It doesn't matter because I've got thick shrink wrap. Hey. Right, so I need flux, solder, and a soldering iron. So what I like to do here, let me see if I turn the solder jack on. I have to move this one over a wee bit. Everything's in the way here. Okay, so what I like to do here is usually a bit of flux, liquid flux, on top of where I'm soldering. And a wee bit on the wire, solder wire. We don't want a big chunk of solder here, we want it nice and neat. So we'll clean this iron first. So I might have to use the gas iron here, I'm not sure. No, that's it. No, don't need any more than that. So that's perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide the shrink wrap over. Make sure, well, it's not really important there. Hot air now. Hot air. I'll just double check this. It's perfect. Okay, gonna wait till that stops there again. So now I'm going to the second cell. And I need to solder to the positive pole now on it. So again, I'm going to put this one on top, like so. A wee bit of flux just helps with the soldering process. Liquid flux. Got the shrink wrap on, important. Give the iron a wee clean. Then away we go. Now put a bit of solder on the wire. Soldering wire. So you don't want to put too much heat into that. But that's just perfect. So next step now again is running the shrink wrap down. When I say you don't want to put too much heat on it, the tab's quite long. You don't want to put too much heat on the cell, but that's minimum there, minimal. So that's a good connection. Just straightening the tab again and pushing this shrink wrap on as far as you can get it. Stick in there. So in now as far as you can get it, good, because remember this is the positive pole of the cell. So we've got this as a barrier, we've got the large stuff on the cell as a barrier, and we've also got the barley paper, the tab as a barrier. So I know that's never going to short out there. So that's the reason I've done that. So shrink wrap now. Just have to wait a minute for this to heat up. There we go. Working on both sides of it. So it shrinks evenly. So that's it. On to the third cell. So I'm going to raise the camera here and give a wee explanation of what I've done. Dum 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 dum. That better aim down, is it? Right. So thanks for watching, everyone. So hopefully you're enjoying this video. So I need to be careful now not to place this like this, because it would short the cells. So what I'm going to do here is going to move this stainless steel plate back a moment. Okay, so there we go. Wait till this thing stops again and then I'll discuss what I'm doing. There we go. So, what we have here now, let's see a solder rack. So, what we have here now is two cells in series. So, these two cells are, well, one of them is 5000 milliamp hour. So, there's one there. What I have is a barrier around the cell to protect it from, or protect these tabs or anything from digging into the cell, to short, to basically burn up or fire or whatever, short out. So my next step now is adding the final cell here, and then when the final cell is attached, I need to connect it back up to the battery pack, same here, the switch and the charging socket. So here we have the old one. So this now looks good. So a wee bit longer mine's, but it doesn't matter. There's room to tuck the wire onto. So the wire, let me just try read it. Let me see what size it is. 1 mil. Okay, so the next step now is moving on to the third cell here. So the third cell has a shorter wire between them. And remember, I have to go from negative to positive. Negative pole to positive pole. To give us 4.5 watts? 4.6. So the wire here is shorter because the two cells are right beside each other, like this. So this wire is more likely just tucked up into the enclosure like this. But it's better longer than it being too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another bit of wire at 100 mil. Or 5 inches or so. So what I just check this, that is perfect. It's a wee bit longer, but it doesn't matter. So these two are looking perfect. Okay. You don't need this large shrink wrap no more because I've got the cell coated or covered. So I purchased this stuff today, isn't it amazing? $6.99 or £8. So let's go. So the next task now is stripping this. And we also need 2 pieces of shrink wrap. So again, I'm going to add 2 full pieces here in length. Need the strippers. Cutting off about 5 mil and no more. Perfect. Okay, so remember, first things first, I have to put the shrink wrap on. So the shrink wrap is much larger than the wire because it needs to fit over the nickel strips. So what I need to do now is set this up again. So see how this cell has the tabs going 180 degrees, so they're sort of offset from each other. So this one's going out this way, this one's going out this way. So it's a good job I kept the wire a wee bit longer here because on these cells, the 2 nickel tabs are going out the same way. So what I'm going to do because of this, I'm just going to increase the size of this wire to around maybe 6 inches so I can turn it back on itself if need be in the pack. So I don't need this one. So basically what I'm going to do here is turn the wire back on itself without bending the nickel strip over. Now in fact, you know what? I'm going to increase it again to maybe 8 inches. No, 8 inches is too much. I'll go 7. Because you might want to bend these tabs down alongside the cell. Don't want to start pulling things apart again, it has to be done right this time. But we also don't want it too long. So now, remember the shrink wrap? And this time I'm going to, what do we see here? Iron's wiring. Going to come up high like this. There we go. There, postman. Is it? So that's it, ready to be soldered, right? So just again, the best thing to do here would be to add flux first. Making sure that the copper is tight to the nickel. Could do a wee lift there at the bottom. So what I can do here is I can get this screwdriver Put it on there. Sit. Right, a bit of flux, liquid flux, helps. So again, just give the soldering a wee clean. Sitting a wee bit proud. That's alright there now. So I'll bring the camera down. So you can see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll try and bring it over a wee bit closer here. Might be better here, is it? Nope. So we want all the strands through. That's good. Right, again what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a wee bit more flux. Let the solder run smooth. That's alright. So one more connection and then we just have to connect it back up to the battery pack. So pushing the shrink wrap on full. Should have waited a wee minute, but it's alright. Give it a wee heat. So here is the cell that I'm using again. High performance cell. So the air respirator is now modified. Perfect. So everything has to be perfect. Right. Oh dear. We need the final cell. So, it's important now that I get the last cell. Have the shrink wrap on the wire. The wire looks quite long, but it'll do right there. Or will I cut it? What do we see here? What way this is going to sit? So, do you know what? You will be able to tuck the wire in somewhere. So to right. So I've been meaning to do this for a long time. I just never got around to it because I've been so busy with projects on the channel. So again, I'm just going to raise this so that the wire sits sort of parallel to the nickel strap or nickel plate. So a wee bit of flux again. We've got the shrink wrap in position. Is it doing that far? Right. So here we go. Final wire to be soldered off the series connections. Perfect, nice and smooth. Sorry, but I plug this phone out here. So there we go. What do we see if I move all this other stuff? I'll just demonstrate. I need to watch it doesn't short out. Because these are fully charged. I'll just take it out here so you can see. There, nice solder, not too high and not too minimal. So, what do we see now? Oh, don't be shorting out on me. So I want to put the camera on the stand. Or sorry, the phone. Working with both here. Thanks to the people that give me the thumbs up there. I really appreciate it. I know there's usually a lot of haters on, but sure, nothing I can do about that. So I'm just going to set these devices up again. I'll raise this one up here. So we're ready to rock. We're ready to get this thing bolt back together. Testing. Okay. I thought I got a wee drink of Red Bull. We're not far away, you know. So my next step now is trying to figure out where these cells go again. Well, not trying to figure out where they go. I need to position them where I removed them from, the old ones. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. So I think this one was here. Okay. Let me raise this camera up a bit. So I think this one was here. That one was here. And that one was here. Yeah, roughly. Upside down. So what I need to do now is I need to build them back in. So I'm just going to look at this a moment here. So one cell at the side, two cells at the side. So what I might need to do here is actually build them in this part first. I'm not sure. This might be awkward. So we don't need these ones no more. Might be awkward getting this right. So that will be going there. I forgot the shrink wrap that. No dear Jeffrey. Like, keeping it in tight to the centre of the cell. That's alright there, right? Right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to strip these wires. And I'm going to add shrink wrap. Perfect. So, two red ones again. There, one there, look. One full one. Red because they're the right size for the nickel connections. Thing's loud, isn't it? So putting one of these on here first. So this is probably going to be the most trickiest part, to be honest. Getting this right. Getting it lined up. Tricky because we're shooting video on it. Right. So this cell needs to go to the side, right? Like so. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this up for strength, sort of. And keep it away. Could use a bit of hot glue here, couldn't I? I'll try it, I'll turn her on. It's on there now. Take a minute for us to heat. So we just have to wait for this to heat here. I'll figure it out as I go. So there, positive wire goes to here, right? It's going to be hard to get the shrink wrap wrapped around that. Be better doing that first, you know. Do that first. Okay. Without breaking the wire off, it's kind of rigid, you know. So we're going to solder this first before we start putting the sails into position. So again, a wee bit of flux. So the red wire is onto the positive pole of the sail. Okay. If you put it the other way around, the motor would go in reverse. See if I get this done here. See, my solder wires, I don't like to solder, like they require more heat. Require more heat than the copper. See if I get it into view here. So better with more flux here. Just run away with it. There we go. So when that cools down, I'm going to push the shrink wrap over and I'm going to solder on this side. Yeah. So sliding this on now, so that's one connection. The new batch is not too warm or we'll make a mess of this. So make sure and run this right over where the nickel strip crosses over the sail so it doesn't short out. So it's an extra protection bar or whatever. There's the barley paper, this one that I put on, the large one, and we now have this. So it's unlikely, very unlikely that will ever short at that point. So it's all about being safe at the end of the day. I wouldn't want this in my house if it was done wrong. Or in the garage, burn the place to the ground. So that's it now. So we've got one sail in position here, right? Looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these down here like this, and one uphill, and I'm going to glue them maybe. We'll see. But maybe glue them a wee bit apart from each other like that. Yeah. Rather than keeping them tight together. So I'm going to do that now once this heats up. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder this on. Okay. Just check it, it's not brittle, that's alright. I think that one will go there, you know. That wire looks a bit dodgy, you know. That's alright. So again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to solder this on before I start lining up the sails or positioning the sails. So here we go. It's another silver plated wire, so it's a bit more awkward to solder than the copper. So when I get this cell sitting here, we want this sort of the wire running parallel to the nickel strip. It's not easy now because everything's mounted. I might need to lift this up with something. I'll use this. So I know it's slow work here, but there's not much we can do. Oh, it's not easy. Need a vise here. That'll be alright there. It's the wire itself. If I get something to put underneath it. That's alright there now. Right, a wee bit of flux. I'm going to have to use this. The other stuff's been used to hold up that blue thing. So we're going to solder this, then the connections are complete, okay, and then I'm going to move on to the actual positioning of the cells to finish this off, but might do another live stream later on, might go on to its own date first. So solder iron's just getting up the temperature, that's it. See if I get round here about knocking this off. There we go. Perfect. So that's it all wired up. So now you should take the charger, and not this charger, the new one. Okay everyone, so I'm just stopping that other camera there. I'm going to raise this up. So what we have here now is 3 new cells wired into the old battery pack that can't be purchased anymore. So it's discontinued. And the time that this air respirator was made, they had, well, it was an ACAD technology. So I'm trying to look after this. Yesterday I done a demonstration of sanding and polishing it. So they're now discontinued, all the parts are discontinued for it, but I try to look after it because it's the best air respirator I have, that I ever had. So I have ones for the compressor, the ones with the filter on your side. You can get ones with the battery on your side and the filter housing on your side, but this one has everything built into the head unit itself. So the filter and the motor and everything is in here, okay? That's really, really good. So I use it for polishing stainless, grinding stainless, everything. Cutting stainless. And it's exceptional. So that's it. I'll move this charger. So this is the old charger, right? It's basically a power supply. What you can do here is you can adjust the voltage. Seen here. So for a 4.5 volt pack, well, rechargeable battery is 1.2. So if you were charging 3 of these batteries on series, the NiCad ones, you would set this to 4.5 on this power supply. But I won't be using this one again. I have sourced new technology, and that is a special recharger for the NI MH cells that pulses. So it actually cuts off. It's much better than the one I just showed you. So we have this all set and ready to go here. I'm just going to set the solder aside because we don't need it again. So I'll do that first. So I use these. Don't need them now. Here's the old cells. Here's the flux we used. We've got the hot glue gun ready to rock here. We don't need these pieces of shrink wrap. Just going to put them back into the box. So, when I start the solder jack again, get rid of these cuttings of wire. I don't need them. Don't need them. So, might try and get this done now. Oh, might be a wee bit awkward just. So I'll move this down for everyone. So this is the Weldon helmet. Hi everyone. Cool to see you all here. Okay. So here we have the 3 old cells, which are 14, the pack when it was built is 1400 milliamp hour. It is now 5000 milliamp hour. So the best thing to do now with this here, these tabs, is glue them to the side of the cells because you don't want them moving back and forward too much because they would break. So what I'm trying to do here first is carefully run this into position. The shrink wrap, the final one. And then we're going to start gluing this together. Try not to burn that tablecloth sheet. So this is the final shrink wrap that needs heated. Then everything needs glued and the pack is finished. Well, probably take 15 minutes putting it into position. So we have a new battery pack. Here's the new cell. So this cell, the capacity, because of the technology NIMH, it has a higher energy density. So if you can imagine, this is 1450, I think it's 1450. It's actually leaking, you know. This one's 5000, so it's 3.5 times bigger, this, bigger capacity. So my runtime will be much longer. 3.5 times longer. So let's go, let's get this glued. I'll raise the 2 cameras. Well, I'll raise the live stream. I want to keep it close to you, but let me go right there. So let's see if we can get this bolt without making a mess. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this way. Okay. And so already I can tell that cell needs to go on there. Okay. But we don't want that tab coming up like that. So the best thing to do here would be to glue those 2 wires like that away from each other. So just a wee slight offset. Not keeping them parallel on top of each other. Holding it till it goes down. So at least I know now that those tabs can't be broken off. and I know it's safe. Everything's well insulated. So I'm not going to rush this because those will let go if I do. So if you see it going a wee bit white, it'll be alright then, but for now, I can move on to the side maybe. Just need to be careful there because that's still kind of warm. So we'll do this one here now. We'll flip it this way without these ones coming apart. Same thing again. I'm going to turn the tabs towards the center of the cell like this, and I'm going to glue them in that position. Okay. Not too much glue because you want these to fit into the enclosure again. So with this cools down, keeping them offset, not on top of each other. Oh, still sticky. Shouldn't have done that, you know. Making a mess. Okay, so somebody out there. Why don't I just close this door? We don't need disturbed on here. Right. So see the way they're going a wee bit white now? So they're cooling down. So I'm going to do the final cell here now, and then I'm going to start installing these into the enclosure. Just lifting it up, making sure the glues hung to it, or clung to it, or bonded to it. So with these cool down, then I'm going to build it back together. Okay, so I'm going to go out and see what this car wants. Then I'll continue on. Couple of minutes here. I want this door open because it's more light. So ready to build this together now, sorry about that. But I just have to wait till the glue in this one goes a wee bit wider so it's cooled down, you know. So, don't need, we do need the glue gun yet. We're finished with the soldering iron. Okay, so let's rock. So the first thing that I'm going to do here, right, is maybe turn the cell. Somebody out there. Okay. Where's the two screws out of this thing? There they are there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to turn this cell that way. Okay. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to keep it this way. For one reason. And so that needs to go that way in the pack, okay? This one needs to go this way in the pack. Or this way. Like so. I'm just thinking of this because these need glued on to this part. So I need to make sure they're right here. That wire's really long, but it can't be tucked in. So we're going to turn this around this way. They're away there now, anyway. Don't know what they were doing. So I have to now check that these batteries can pull apart from this part, because this will be slid on once the batteries are glued into position. You understand? So I'm going to do a wee test bit here first. Wee trial. This is awkward. I'm not going to lie. Considering the live stream's running. Right. So here we go. So here's where the wire that links the cells together will pass through here, this groove. Is that right? So that means that this wire at the minute is too short. So I'm going to need to turn this. See what I mean? It's awkward. Maybe better that way. Yes. And I'm going to have to turn this one. Like so. About, yeah, that's perfect. So see now how the series connection, the wires going through this groove. This is where it's meant to go. So there we go now, that's it, perfect. And what I can do is I can basically just place that wire down the side. Okay. So I'm going to see if this fits. I hope it does. So the first thing I can do here is do this. It's not easy. It's not easy. So I can't glue nothing yet. It's awkward. It's flittery. So if I have these nickel straps away from this mount point, it might be better. So a wee bit sticky going on there. Listen to that fly. It's gonna be tricky. I could be ignorant of it and push it on, but there now. So it's just a matter of figuring out where these go. So as you can see there now, the cover's going on. The only thing stopping it from going on is that wire. Perfect. So that's telling me now, right, that those cells are in good position. What we want now is we want to be able to pull this off with the cells in position. Yes, we can. So I can now glue these cells. Let me see. So I can glue this cell here first. I know it's going to be awkward here, but there's not much we can do. There's not much we can do about it. So, what I'm going to do, right, this is risky, is I'm going to load this with glue down here, right? So I'll try and get this in view. It's tricky. Not going to lie, it's even trickier when you're recording it. So, I'll do my best here. Just lining up these cameras. Setting them up. I'm trying to get a good view here for you. Okay. So away we go now. I'm going to just rock on here. What? It's in there in 20 minutes. So, there's not much I can do but try it. So I've got this industrial grade hot glue gun, right? I've got it loaded up with a stick here and I've got another one sitting here when I need it. So the test fit is completed and now you're just going to risk it. So I need to put this in before the glue cools down obviously. So here we go. It's not easy at all. This could go off very quick here. There we go. So I'm going to hold this cell in position. And I'll put another bit of glue down. And there, look. So believe it or not, this is the way it was at the start. Only I removed all the glue. So hopefully you've seen what I've done there. It's tricky because this cover is, the wire is going to the bottom of the cell and it's as far as I can open it here. This side should be easier, believe it or not, because look at the bigger gap I have here. I can't do nothing now until I was sure that this cell is stuck in place, or the whole thing will be wrecked. Have to pick the glue out. It'll ruin the live stream. So I have that cell pushed into the corner so that the cell's sitting perpendicular to the bench, like that. Okay? Just waiting for it to cool down here. So we have a new pack, upgraded to 5000 milliamp hour for the Honeywell DTVR air respirator. Discontinued air respirator. So here's the switch, here's the port for charging. I still need to adopt the charger. I might do it in this video, we'll see how it goes. Right, that's it. And I'm going to let go, right? And I'm going to move on to these two cells. So again, see, it's just using common sense here. See the way this bit of plastic goes down between the cells? We want to keep the nickel plates away from the here where my finger is, because we want as much room here as possible. Okay? So I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to do the same thing again. But I just need to be quick. Things can go wrong here, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to work on it too much here. See the wire now in the way? It's alright, you know. Right, I'm pushing it down tight. Final cell. I'm also going to put a wee bit of glue around the side here of this one. And I'm just going to put my finger down on here. And I'm going to spread it on there, look. Not getting it at the top. So there we go. So making sure the cell's pushed down tight, or other words we wouldn't get the lid on again, at the top cover here. So I knew this live stream was going to run on here because it's Friday work. You have to wait for everything to cool down, heat up and solder down, shrink wrap, all that. If you want a top job, that is. So I might be doing another live stream later on the e-bike battery build. So I'll be starting that. Waiting for us to cool down to do the final sale, and then we're going to screw it back together. Right, that should be enough. But the thing about it, see, the more volume of glue you use, the more heat it holds. So you have to sort of hold it longer for the more volume of hot glue you use. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm trying to blow on it here. Should be alright there now. Right, so this wire will run in this groove. So if you want to see this video in better quality, not the live stream, do get a look at my channel. There will be a 4K video uploaded in the future. So on to the final sale here. Making sure that this one is over tight. It is. Right. So I have to pull this one out. 2. Or move it over. We'll see how far it comes out. Do you know what else I could do here? I could just leg her aside of the sail and glue. And here. Oh, don't get that on there, Jeffrey. So keeping it down, nice and low. Pushing it over so it's nice and square. Or parallel to this face here. So that's it, everyone. Hopefully I've done a good job there. If this fits, I will add a wee bit more glue before I finish up here. Just down there, look, see on here? Wee bit down the side. Because honestly, I don't think I will be removing these for another maybe 8 years. These ones done 8 years. So these ones will do 8 years. These are actually high performance cells that I'm using. So these will be used for the likes of, do you know those remote control cars, them high performance ones that you get nowadays. Airplanes too also. So 5000 milliamp hour from 1450 or 1400. So let's see if this fits here. I hope it does, or otherwise this needs to go over the edge. This should fit like a glove. I hope it does. Look at that. Okay, everyone, so that's telling me now, right, that is perfect. So I can add final glue here. Final glue. So down the side of the cell using this lengthy nozzle, right? Just launching it in there. Letting it run smooth, keeping it on its side, letting gravity take effect here. So these were initially glued. I removed the glue. Well, these cells were initially glued around, I think it was 2 months ago or 2 weeks. Well, I don't know when I stripped it, you know. I had that many projects going, what did I see? I think it might have been 2 months ago. I stripped these to see what sort of cell that was in the actual battery pack. And I didn't even know these existed. So not the 9 cell, but the N9MH, but the type of cell which are what are they again? Sub-C. So they're a wee bit smaller than C-size batteries. Never knew they existed. So a wee bit of glue down the side. It's hard to see there, I know, but just to hold it in place and position. Making sure there's no glue on the outside here. There's not. So I'm also going to add a wee bit more glue down this side of this sail, but I need to watch move these out of the way. I need to watch the wire in here because it's short. I could yank on it, but I'm not going to. Do you know something? I think it's alright the way it is. I'll try and get a wee bit in there, right? Just on here. Oh, there's loads in there now, look at that. Just run smooth. It's that hot. So, a couple of minutes and this will be back together. So I can turn off the glue gun. Good job. Put the screws back on it. I might modify the charger, why not? So, just bear with me a minute here. I'll put this back together when it cools down. So, do you see these little connections? You get these with the charger, right? So here's my old charger. So this is basically a power supply, a variable power supply. I won't be using that again. So I am now using a proper pulse charger for these 3 cells. So it also has a wee indicator light on it. It's much better than the power supply. You can also adjust the charge current, 1 amp to 2 amp. These cells can handle a higher charge rate, but I'm not no panic to charge the mask between different days, you know what I mean? So I can charge it overnight, charge them slow, and it benefits the cells in the long run. So I'll just keep it at 1 amp. But let's say I'm out working one day and I forget to charge the mask. All I would need to do is flick this to 2 amp. And the mask would charge much, or sorry, not the mask, the air respirator would charge much quicker. So I'm going to push this into the hole, or place the cover on it here, lining up the wires. That's perfect. Well, do you know something? I could probably have that wire going down the side of the sail here. So, that's it everyone, I think. Let me just get a look again. I'm not fussy. I'm not fussy. The problem is it clips on here. So it does. It clips. You have to pull it like that. You have to clip it on. Like that, see? And that's there, look. It's just a wee bit of a nightmare to get back on. There's like hooks there. It's not actually the battery pack. There now, look, perfect. So the final thing I need to do here is put the 2 screws in the bottom. But first I need to double check that no wires are in the way, which they're not, because I have that all confirmed and checked. So, if I put this better work, but if it doesn't, don't panic. Oh, there's the first time I tried that. Listen to the rate the motor is running that compared to the way it used to run it. And that's the way it was when that one was brand new. It never run that hard in years. You can actually feel the air coming out of here, like forcing out of here. Like that, my mask never, or the helmet never done that in years. It's cooling me down. Unreal. So that is I'm blown away with that. That's brilliant now. So these batteries were degraded. They're 8 years old. They're NiCad batteries, NiCd. They're not NiAmp for NiMH. So good job. Perfect. It was a very lengthy live stream. A lot of detail. I know some people switch off because things are too detailed, but I'm surprised at the thrust, the force of the air coming out of this. So just to point out, what this is a wee motor pump station or unit. You have a pre-filter on here. I'm going to get one, hold on a minute. There's a box of stuff on here and I'll try and find them to show this. If I can get them. If I can find them, right? If I can't find them, then not much you can do. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. I am. Oh dear. So bear with me, I'm just getting the box of stuff here. Oh. So the masks or the air respirator motor never run like that in years. So what I'm going to do here is just going to show a wee demonstration of this. Set up the phone here first. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Right. So I'm just going to demonstrate here how this thing takes the filters. I've wrecked the place. So this is my box of goodies, my spares that I purchased for this thing. So here we have the pre-filters. So the reason I have so many is because when I noticed the air respirator was when things were getting hard to get for it, I went and purchased loads of items. So as you can see here, I have all the new hoods. I have all the new visors, a box of them in here. This is one that I can polish up if need be. So I'm going to just demonstrate here. Hold on. For anybody that doesn't know what this thing is I'm working at. So here we have the new filters. There's 2 in there and there's another 3 in there somewhere. So these slide on to this little pump or whatever you want to call it, the motor unit, the fan. So these slide on to here. There's 2 new ones. I won't be using these for a long time. And at the front here we'll have little pre-filters. And these pre-filters go onto here like so. So as you can see, the thing's well designed like. So that's why I wanted to look after it. Never run at that pace in years. So obviously that's because of those high performance batteries now. Or cells. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this away. I'm going to finish the charger. I'm going to wrap this live stream up. But it'll be another 10 minutes yet. So that's my box of goodies for that air respirator. I have other ones, but this is my most favourite one. So let's get started. So obviously I'm not going to be connecting crocodile clips up here, so what I could do is I could cut those off and I could wire this directly into this plug here. So I'll do that, right? So the white wire within this power supply is positive. So I don't need to get the multimeter out here or nothing. So we're going to cut this off clean. We need that plug. We can use this wee power supply for something else in the future. Project or something. I'll keep it. It's a handy one because it's variable. So this is actually one that I purchased for the NiCad batteries because the one with the mask failed. So soldering iron on. This, you don't need this. I'll take a pre-filter back out. So this basically protects the main filter on the inside. And this device just keeps the filter out straight. So I can't wait to try this again because the air, it'll be nice cool air coming on top of you when you're working. So the next step is I'm going to try and see if I can save these crocodile clips. Yes, I can use those for something else, right? So I'm going to cut these off clean. Because they look like good quality, don't they? We'll save these for something else. Do you know what I might do actually? Good thinking, Jeffrey. Don't bother cutting those. Keep those in case I need something. And what I'll do is I'll use one of these little boys. If it fits. There we go. But they're awfully short, aren't they? That one's longer. That would look stupid on the end of that, wouldn't it? Or would it? Okay. Lower the cameras down here. So the battery is really effective now. So we're going to finish off here with the charger. So give me 10 minutes or so and this live stream will be finished. And then I'm going to move on to another one later on. The other live stream won't have this much stuff on the bench. So, I need to charge the camera, I need to charge the phone. Okay, so let's rock. So soldering is now going, right? So we want to open this wee plug. So the best way to do that, as far as I mind, is... Let me see here. Just check the view there of the live stream. It's hard having two cameras here. So the 4K is important. Right. So battery pack complete. Charger now. So there will be not a kettle lead, but a 8. No. Let me see if I can get it here. I don't know where it went. I need to get one. I'll need one for this video, so where am I going to get one of those? Off the printer in the house. Right. So you know the lead like a figure 8, the plug, I need one for here. I will need to run into the house to get that, to try it in a moment. But let's get this plug fitted first. So the plan is, rather than I care about the helmet, the air respirator more than these two crocodile clips. So see the way these two leads, the 3 leads that come with the charger, they're 3 different lengths. I'm going to go for the one that the longest length, which is the 2 crocodile clips. So I'm just going to cut them off here clean, and I can use them in the future if need be. So there we go. See the gauge of wire here. That's perfect. So I'm going to strip these now with 5mm again. Now you know what? We'll do the plug first. So we need to release the wee tab on here and pull this off. Like, there we go. So it was me soldered this on a long time ago. So see the way the white wire, right, is running onto the left there. So that's positive. So I know that this lower pin on this socket is positive. So I need to put the red wire onto it. Okay. So I can take this out of here as far as I mind. It's footery, isn't it? It's footery, surely. No, look, I have that crimped over. That's alright, but I can open it. Open this up for the new, these 2 wires. Keep hearing footsteps outside. There we go, so that's it opened. Next thing is, might need the solder sucker here. What, that door? Okay, so the other camera wasn't even running. Close this door because the camera's going off too, the middle. Okay, so hopefully there's enough light there, right? So again, I'm just going to put this back together. 2 seconds. Awkward thing. Things I do, eh? Okay. So the first thing I need to do here is push this tab down, pull this apart like so. So if I look at this now, you can see that white wire is going to the left. So that's a positive polarity at this side, negative at this side. So I need to be sure this is right. Otherwise, charger will just throw up an error more likely. Or you could destroy the charger. So we're going to disconnect this. Hopefully if it works here. There we go. So remember, the hump, the hill, the positive is at the left. Okay. It'd be better if we had these holes open with the solder sucker, but I don't think that's going to work out that. Need a wee vise. So what I'm going to do here now is take these away, we don't need them. And we're going to strip the ends here of these. Nice and even first. Soft stuff. Do. Perfect. So the one that's red and black, we see. The one that's red and black is ground or negative, and the one that's completely red is positive. So I need to put this now to, if you look at, imagine the hump and the hill, I need to put this wire on here, and the red and black one to the right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end the live stream because I have to charge the camera but also the phone for a live stream later on. But I don't have much to do, another couple of minutes and then I'll be done, but the phone's running low here. So today in this video, part 2, I refurbed the battery pack, removed the old cells, new wiring. This charger now is now going to be used for the NI MH cells and not the NiCad cells. The next step now is soldering this directly to this and adding the 2 pieces of steel for the connector and slide this back on. So I'll do that now. I'm just going to wrap a live stream up. I'm going to charge the phone and the camera. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I do hope you enjoyed. For anyone that's just jumped on there, the battery packs for this 9-year-old or 8-year-old air respirator. So it's going to be unreal now having it on, because the batteries were degrading quite a bit over the last year, and the mask wasn't really that effective, very inefficient. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. As I say, a live stream will continue in approximately an hour and a half time. Depending on how I get this bench. This bench needs to be completely cleaned down and everything needs put away first. And then I'm going to start the e-bike battery. So the e-bike battery pack. So that's it. That will be, I think it's part 1 of the e-bike. We'll see how it goes anyway. I'm going to finish this here in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to charge the devices and then I'm going to jump back on. So thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel. More interesting projects in the future. Goodbye, everyone.